What I want is a system of checks and balances, separation of powers, deep suspicion on the part of each branch of government about the other, and a relatively small government. That's my ideal.
So was Greg Dickinson speaking for the church in the Credenda volume that is no longer on the web when he said that if we had it our way, biblical Old Testament law would be enforced as the law of the land? That doesn't seem to fit with your constitutional republic with a separation of church and state.
Yeah,
Who was he speaking for there?
Well,
and why haven't you repudiated a very, very blatant and outrageous example of theocracy?
Well, several things. All governments are theocracies. The only difference is what God is enthroned in that. Our current government is a theocracy, and so all governments are theocracies.
This is wordplay, Doug. Can you really get to the point, please?
No, it's more than it's a serious theological point.
No,
It's
the
not,
people they are not deified. Okay, this.
if there is no authority, basically in every political legal system, the point at which there is no appeal past that point, you have found and identified the God of the system. Right?
Metaphorically.
I don't mean the God. I don't mean the God of the system in the sense that you have an altar and leave baskets of fruit in front of it. I'm not saying that the people are deified.
It's a misleading metaphor. Would you please answer the question?
What is the ultimate authority in the lives of the governed?
The Constitution says that it's the people.
Right. Now,
That
if that's
we, the people.
if that's the ultimate authority, then that's the God of the system. That's what I mean. Right? That's my argument.
That's not what the Founding Fathers intended.
Well,
So
yeah, because they intended
you're not
that.
speaking to the point.
I agree. They intended that the divine being God would be over the demos, over the people. So they didn't absolutize the we the people.
As a personal God and not a God of the state. Very clear in the writings of the Founding Fathers.
Here's the point.
There's no God that is the authority of the constitutional republic that we have.
What I'm saying is that if 60% of the American people voted in a fair election to kill all the Jews, I would resist them with an open Bible, because there's a God who lives in heaven who outranks them all. That's my point. Now that's the only point I'm making here. Now the paleo Confederate system that you want me to
Yes, you're evading the point completely. Okay? Why call it a confederacy?
Why?
You're calling it a constitutional republic.
That's what a confederacy is. A confederacy,
You're talking
confoidus.
about the Southern Confederacy?
No. The word foidus is the Latin word for covenant.
So it has no connection with the Southern Confederacy. I'm just stopping my question then. I mean,
Let's put it this way. A neo-Confederate, this is how I'm defining it. A neo-Confederate is one who wants to reinstitute stars and bars, Bible Belt, gumbo, Southern cooking, the whole cultural thing. And God bless them, they've got that. I don't begrudge them their culture at all. But neo-Confederates want to reinstitute this golden age gone past. That's what I understand a neo-Confederate to be. What I mean by paleo-confederacy is limited constitutional government the way the Founding Fathers intended. That's what I mean by a paleo-confederate government.
why have you displayed the stars and bars so prominently in the past history of your church? Then if it doesn't, it's not connected with the actual Confederacy.
This would be as good a time as any to ask you to retract your public statements that I've preached with the stars and bars behind me, which I never have.
You admitted it in a letter to the editor.
No,
okay?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm flat deny it. So
I was so happy to get those concessions, by the way.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to have the testimony of the band. What was the band that made a fool out of your principal? That we didn't display the flag there. The band had to write and say, yes, it was. It was there at a picnic.
Nick, this is a good example of how you are missing so many relevant details. And
I have lots of details from church outsiders, church insiders. I trust my sources.
And
You are the most evasive thinker and talker
What,
that I have ever
this
met.
band, this band that you're talking about, what event was that?
It was a picnic, a Logos school picnic.
It was not a Logos school picnic. It was a private party that I was invited to and I went to. Your facts are all screwed up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it was a Christ Church function.
No,
as
it
far as I
wasn't.
know.
No, it wasn't.
Why wasn't stars and bars being
It
displayed?
was. It wasn't.
They were lying then. The bar,
No,
the,
no, no.
the band was lying,
No, the band.
and my church sources are lying.
No.
They don't lie. They
Nick,
tell
here's
the
the
truth.
problem. You're saying that the misinformation, the falsehood, is not that there was an event. The band that played at that event played at an event where there was a Confederate flag. Yes, that was true. What they misrepresented, misunderstood, or whatever, I'm not saying they're lying, but the misunderstanding is that that was a church event or a Logos event or anything that had to do with our sponsorship at all. It wasn't.
I'd like to return to a previous question
Well,
about
this
a
would be a good
debate.
time for you to say sorry about
Oh,
the
listen,
misunderstanding.
I trust my sources, okay? I trust my sources, and there are good reasons for why these people are no longer part of the church. Okay? Because Doug Wilson cannot be trusted.
Well,
I can't speak for Sean Quinlan or Bill Ramsey, but they are published scholars in peer-reviewed journals, and they have very good reasons why they do not want to debate you. And the first basic reason is that they don't trust you, okay? Because I've seen, again, here tonight, the way that you handle questions. But we do know Tracy McKenzie, who has judged your work to be totally inadequate and without foundation. In other words, these scholars, now it doesn't make them feel very good, Doug, when you email the governor of Idaho and ask that these professors be disciplined.
right?
And it's the problem I have with New St. Andrews College as an academic institution. An instructor in a college does not treat other colleges or universities in such a disrespectful manner. President White was not amused by that email, and neither was the provost. That would be number one reason why these professors would not want to be in the same room with you. You are not a professional historian. You have no credentials to speak about all these things that you speak about.
So they should be able to take me apart.
That is their decision, okay? But, and I can't speak for them,
Yeah,
but they don't trust you any more than I trust you.
right. But it should be very easy for professional historians to dismantle me in front of hundreds.
Tracy McKenzie has dismantled your argument.